What the show didn't mention, though, Hollywood producer and big-time Democratic Party supporter Harvey Weinstein and the numerous sexual harassment claims against him. So the topic today is the hypocrisy that's happening in Hollywood. And here to weigh in, Chuck Rocha, president of Solidarity Strategies, Carrie Sheffield, founder of Bold Global, and Chad Prather, a comedian and a blogger. Guys, thanks so much for coming on this morning. We do appreciate it. Chuck, I'm going to start with you. I'm pretty pragmatic about gun control. I don't like the fact that somebody's able to shoot 500 people in 10 minutes. I think it's disgusting. But at the same time, who are comedy writers to lecture anybody on policy and politics and answers on gun control? And you have to at least admit that there's got to be some kind of hypocrisy here. I mean, Harvey Weinstein's story was so easy. I mean, you could make so many good skits on that, and they didn't even touch it.
I think sexual harassment don't have a party. I don't think it's about Democrat or Republican. I think these guys are trying to get ratings, and I think that's why you've seen so much about Donald Trump. He's the president of the free world. It's an open market, so they get out there and they try to get their ratings up, and they're talking about what they want to be talking about. And I couldn't say more about Weinstein. I'm a Democrat. That it's wrong. Whether it's Harvey Weinstein or President of the United States, sexual harassment is wrong. We should be talking about it. We should be addressing it, just like we should be addressing gun control.
And I completely agree with that. Carrie, we'll go over to you for a second. What did you make of them just not even touching it? And then I also want to ask you, because I think you have a good point to make on the fact that, the DNC is donating all the money that Harvey donated to them. They're going to send it somewhere else. So kind of tell me about those two things.
Okay, so yes, in terms of the money, well, first of all, I believe it's only 10% that the DNC said that they would return from the most recent cycle, as opposed to his whole long history of $300,000 of donations, apparently. They're only going to give about 10%, $30,000, but they're giving it to liberal organizations that help elect liberal Democrat women. So that's the whole thinking, is they're like, because it's women, therefore it's okay. But it's a shell game. It's, shifting money from your checking to your savings account to say we're going to give the money to Planned Parenthood, or we're going to give the money to Emily's List that, elects liberal Democratic women and performs abortions in the case of Planned Parenthood. So it really is this utter hypocrisy. But to your broader question in terms of the hypocrisy of not mentioning Weinstein, so in his statement himself, Weinstein blames the NRA. He said, I'm going to channel my anger about my behavior against Wayne LaPierre. And this is the sort of insanity. There's nothing new under the sun, but that was the first for me. I've never seen someone blame the NRA for being a sexual harasser themselves. I don't understand it. This is part of the bigger problem of the trifecta: Hollywood, media, and academia. All the major cultural institutions are so in an echo chamber, and that's why they're going to lose again, not only in this coming year for the election.
And let's go to Chad with more on that. He's a comedian. He knows the industry pretty well, and there is a point to be made. There really are no conservative voices coming out of Hollywood. And what's so interesting about that is that if you really think about how they produce television, I lived in L.A. for 3 years. I mean, their market is the Midwest. These are the people that usually are red states are the ones that are watching all their shows, because people on the coast don't have as much time. People in the Midwest and the red states watch a lot of TV, and they don't have any venue for a lot of the things that they believe in. What do you say to that, Chad?
Well, our first guest there, he said that it's all about the ratings. In theory, yes, but the ratings are starting to tank because people in America are getting tired of sock puppet celebrities that are throwing their temper tantrums. And we don't want to get lectured for an hour by self-appointed pundits that are posing as late-night comedians. It's not funny. The Harvey Weinstein thing is not funny. The issue in Las Vegas, it's not funny. Late-night comedy has become unfunny. And by the way, Harvey Weinstein, obviously his donations to the DNC, to his support of Hillary Clinton, he visited the Obama White House 13 times, which causes me to recommend that they change the sheets. But I did hear that he liked the shower water pressure.
Jeez. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning to talk about this, and we'll see if there is any change. But I do think you're right. I mean, it's gotten to the point where everything's political now, and I just think that at some point, it's going to get old, and I think we're going to see that. All right, guys. Thanks so much for coming on.